make a little adjustment to be sure that we're all getting the full view. Right? Adjustments have been a little bit funny lately, right? Happy Friday. Here we are, whatever day you're viewing on this. I'll stop using days and I'll just let it be sort of, here we are now. This has been quite a week, and if you came to our special event on Wednesday, thanks for being there. It's actually cute and fun, and I still have it recorded. If anyone wants that recording, just send me a message on Instagram. Mikeeyoga, right? 2 E's, no Y. So here we are, right? I have now I've gone through the cycle of the week, which is sort of the entrails of the full moon. And the full moon, as I was talking about it on Monday when I was like so full of myself. And I was like, what do I have to change? What could I possibly release? I'm so good. As soon as you mark or note, or maybe you just let those kind of statements come out of your mouth, that is the exact moment where, if it were true, and it probably wasn't anyway, those things come all tumbling down. All those statements in their trueness become very false. And so I've had one of those weeks where I've been trying to make sure I take back something immediately when I say it, if I'm making it seem like it's a permanent statement. So I'm letting everything be temporary. And the focus for sort of what's to come, and so as we move out of this kind of the icky cycle, I'm calling it, of this transformative full moon, right? So the reset has sort of allowed this space to kind of feel uncomfortable because it's like an itch, you know, you want something, you have a hunger, if you will, and the satiation isn't quite known yet. So like, what flavor? Do I want sweet? Do I want savory? Do I need to laugh more? Do I need a new friend, or do I need to repair or re-engage with an old friend? Maybe all of the above, right? And so what I have found to be enlightening this week, which has been my little piece or my morsel of insight or wisdom, is that let's make room for the space that we're creating, right? So we'll focus on the space that is being created, and that's kind of through our actions, through our movements, stay mobile, trying not to get too sedentary. And you'll find that those are kind of unlocking the keys to the inquiry that we might be sort of just waiting for, right? So I'm looking for a focus for myself. You can see that as purpose, right? The treasure or the image of the thing that makes, right, the reason you're alive a gift, right? So it might kind of look like something tangible. So in yoga, we call that the yantra, right? So an image of something that might kind of conjure up all the things that sort of amplify that sweet notion, right? That feeling or that gift, right? So come to a nice tall seat. We have just a half an hour for this Friday flow to move into some of the quirky things I've been inspired by. So you take a couple of breaths here and see them as creative space, right? Every act that we take for this half hour that we're practicing is just honoring creative space. Allowing ourselves permission to not dwell or worry on anything that hasn't yet shown up, but to really just enjoy what is showing. Right? So what is a lot easier to hold on to than what is not. I think that's a very true statement. Right? Allow your hands to come together, your heart. Take a gentle bow to that center that we praise, we work, we cultivate. Release your hands and open your eyes. Okay, so here we are. Right, so coming to your mat, I know that I've been sort of putting the sort of the feelers, the notion, the sort of energy out there as a reminder that we're using this month to learn more about inversions and upside downness. And today is going to be less handstands because we have a short amount of time. And this kind of weird thing that has been appearing in my life, and I made a couple sort of suggestions on this on Instagram, but I didn't want to scare too many people, so I didn't go too far in depth. Right, so come to your mat so that you're at the back of your mat and you can see what's out in front of you. Okay, inhale the arms up to the sky. You're gonna sit into a chair and then easily just descend all the way, hands touch, then tuck your chin to straighten the legs. Okay, walk your hands forward, you get to plank pose, and then you're gonna walk your feet forward, you get to your hands at the front of the mat. Okay, inhale to move flat back, exhale, sit to chair, lift the arms, come up to stand, reach. Right? Let the arms go down. This is going to be a little sort of a quirky thing that's going to kind of pull us out of the locked syndrome that we can get into, and every person gets into this, whether you're young or sort of more mature, right? You're a connected tissue from your lumbar spine that travels right down your back of your leg, through the channel of your psoas and your hip. It just gets congested because we sit, right? We sit and then we stand, and we stand and we reach and then we work, and then we don't work, right? So we have funny things we do even when we're sleeping. So with your right arm out to your right? You're gonna have your palm face down, and you're gonna reach across over to the left, tuck your chin, and just kind of push at a nice 45 degrees over, wide left. This is opening you on that sort of right scapula, shoulder blade, blah, blah, blah. Right, when you come back up, that's in the inhale, palm turns up, right? You're gonna sweep it around, and you're gonna look over your shoulder and just kind of lean it back so you get this little feeling like you're going into a little sort of reaching back bend, not too severe. We're gonna repeat that 2 more times. Palm turns down, sweeps across your heart, and over to your left and away, like you're trying to sort of reach to something on the floor, way out to the left, right? And then try not to be too eye-centric, so chin tucks. Inhale, palm up, around the shoulder, back behind you. It's graceful, a little bit dancey, right? If you want to do something with your left hand, you can hold it at your heart. Right? 1 more time, palm down, sweep across. You might even palm down so much that your pinky turns up and thumb turns down, so it's an internal rotation. Yay, and then this one, go across the sky, pick it up, palm up, over to your right, over to the side, and then possibly, a little farther down on that back bend, right? And then you come back to the middle. 1 more time, left side now, right? So palm is down, just nice and easy, over to your right side, low. Palm sweeps on the inhale, palm up, across the chest, across the shoulders, back behind you, and push out. Okay, take that next inhale, palm down, sweep around. You might internal rotate a little bit more on that left arm, over and back, a little deeper down. Palm up, around, wide back behind you, possibly even push it a little farther back, right? So you feel your quads and your abdominal muscles. And then 1 more time, across, over to your right, palm down with a little deeper rotation, thumb down, pinky up, right? You can feel that underneath your shoulder blade. And then circle the sky to go that one, big, wide, around, back, and maybe a little down. Right hand can get your heart. Nothing's really wrong with the right hand. It's whatever you want to do. Left hand comes back to your chest. So there's this guy on Instagram called, he does flex theory. So he loves like a lot of like muscly stuff. And you know, I love muscly stuff. So this kind of comes from him a little bit. So it's a little bit of sort of a boxer training. I'm gonna face this way just so you can see my first side. Right, so you're standing at the top of your mat, left knee lifts, and just open your left knee out to the left. Right, so you get this kind of this version of a warrior 3 tree action. And you're gonna push back, keep the hip open. You're gently just gonna kick your left heel back. So I almost have 90-degree legs. You can make little fists or prayer hands at your heart, right? Come back, left knee goes around to the side, foot down, sit to chair, hands to touch, and legs to straighten.
Awesome. And then right here, you're gonna step left foot back, right foot back, plank, and then walk your hands back to your toes. Okay? Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, sit to chair. Inhale all the way up to stand. All right, little extra reach so the palms face forward. Sorry about the screen. All right, take the arms a little bit wider and then lean back so you're doing a little standing back bend from just the reach of the open heart. Okay, gather it back. Sit to chair, get more narrow, controlled, connected to your center. Hands to the floor, legs straighten. Hands walk forward to plank pose. There's a little bit of a core training here too, making sure that you keep your breath sliding through those inhales and exhales, nice and smooth with your actions, with your movements. Feet walk forward, nice and slow, heels lift. Take your time. Front to the mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, sit to chair. And then inhale up to stand, right? This one, your hands come down to your heart. Okay, right foot comes off the floor, so I'm just changing directions just in case you have to look to see what I mean. Right knee goes wide out to the right, It's an open tree, and then you're taking this almost like you're going into a full moon pose, right? Right leg kind of karate chops, kicks back behind you. I don't know if that's a karate chop. I don't know my terms. 90 degree with the legs, strong medial glutes, strong obliques, right? Come back up the way you did, around the front, foot to the floor, sit to chair, and then hands to touch, legs straighten. Good job. Right foot steps back, plank. Left foot's back, plank. This one's gonna go chaturanga, right? Chest open, heart curls forward, so you're streamlined. And just taking care, right? There's no rush. Exhale back to down dog. And then walk your hands back to your toes. So you're back to your toes again. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale to sit to chair. Inhale up to stand. This one again, palms to face forward. Right, and we're gonna do this like a little bit of like a helicopter like we were doing last week, right? So palms are facing forward, go wide and pull them back. You're gonna look over your right shoulder, right arm's gonna reach back behind you. And all you're doing is inhaling it back up to the middle. So you get a lot of core strength on this. Tip to the left arm reach wide and back, maybe down, curling the shoulders back, strong glutes. Inhale that up. Right, palms face each other. This one, when you sit to chair, go tiptoes, right? And everyone knows when they take my class, right? I love a tiptoe challenge in chair. It's really strengthening knees, quads, and core. Everything that sort of connects in the middle, hips, right? Heels can go to the floor as your legs straighten. Walk your hands to the front of the mat. This plank pose, we're gonna go elbow to elbow down to the floor, forearm plank, right? And then we're just gonna do a little knee tap. So you're gonna pick up the right leg, so it's a three-legged plank. Pull your right knee up towards your right elbow, tricep, and step it back. Push into your hands so you're not all on the elbows here. Left leg lifts, left knee, left tricep. Left foot back, we go right hand, left hand plank, and then feet walk forward to the front of the mat. So you might notice that you're taking less steps to get to the front of your mat, right? Oh, there's so many noisemakers in my home right now. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, sit to chair. Inhale up to stand. This one's gonna go left foot off the floor. You can start with hands at your heart. I was listening to this blog today, it was yesterday, and they were talking about sort of knee health. Specifically the sort of medial edge of the knee, which is where we kind of end up getting injured pretty often. I'm a little bit that way. And they say that you should do a 10 count of a leg lift, such as this, out in front of you, right? 10, count to 10, 1 to 10, blah, blah, blah. And that will really sort of help bring strength into that joint that will help you for years to come. You're gonna keep that leg straight, but think of that little, that leg chop that we did before. Open the heart to the left. The left hip stacks on top of the right, right? Hands can be wherever. You can open them wide, right? Like full moon, or you can brace yourself and hold the legs. Okay, we're gonna actually tip that back, So you land into warrior one. So the foot goes back, heel goes down, chest goes up. You're gonna straighten that right leg, and then you're just gonna fall back into a little dancing warrior. Right? Press into the heel, follow that forward motion up. Ooh. Just stand with the left leg out. Left knee bends. Sit to chair. Okay, hips back, legs nice and strong, hands come down. Lean to the toes. It's a forward bow. Right? I have a little bit of a residual sort of a muscle fatigue, right? That delayed onset that's kind of made me a cranky pants today. So that has a lot to do with probably my theme. I always forget, I'm like, why am I being this way? I'm like, get some rest, okay? You're just tired. Inhale to a flat back, right? There's an answer around it. It's usually an easier answer than you think, right? Sit to chair. It's kind of nice to know. Inhale up to stand, right foot off the floor, right? Right leg out in front of you. Remember, this is a 10 count, so we're using a little bit of that advice to give us some sort of future, more sort of a fortified future of knee strength here and knee flexion too. Right, the right leg stays straight. We're just gonna call that 10, right? It sweeps back and it opens up. And here we're going into a full moon right away, right? So we're honoring how crazy the full moon has been making me this week. Left knee bends, so your right foot can tap back, heel down, and you go warrior one. Whew. And that's a nice warrior one. Left leg straightens, heel to left foot, right knee bends. I like to assume that I can kind of see you, so I know you're doing a nice warrior one, right? So just trust that I can feel you through the screen, right? You're gonna press off that right leg to come back up to your stand at the front of the mat. Right knee bends, so you can sit, hips go back, so your hands can land, and your heart folds. Okay, we have one more little sort of this cutie little set with that. It might be two. We're gonna see. Inhale halfway up. On your exhale, hands touch. This is yogi's choice, right? Are you in a good space for hopping back, floating back, jumping back? We're gonna do a vinyasa, right? So feel free, however you like to, put those hands on the floor and just sweep into that practice, which is pretty repetitive, right? So that one's the reminder that we've got this. And so the simpler things are usually sort of the best ways to go deeper, right? So we don't have to be extremely complex, right? Okay, walk your hands back to your feet. Another little travel time. Inhale to a flat back. When you sit to your chair here, heels off the floor, tiptoes. Okay, just kind of playing around with this to make sure that we're using equal pressure in both knees, right? Chest up, both legs, right? The heels go to the floor as you come to stand. Lift the heart. Here's another one of those little back bends that we did before. Lift the chest, palms will face forward, heart's open. Okay, and then you're going to turn over your right shoulder, right arm reach back, but you're gonna go so far down that you come to touch the back of your right thigh. Left arm is gonna reach even further over to your right. Okay, inhale that up. I know I changed directions on my mat. It's okay. I'm doing it so that you can see, right? When we come up, palms are face forward, arms are in a wide V, and you're tipping to your left, opening it up so it's like a swim out through the heart. Strong glutes, long reaching right arm. Inhale up. That's where the arms feel really heavy. And then exhale, fold. Right, hands touch to the floor. Okie dokie. Walk your hands in front of your mat. Like pose. We're gonna go elbow to elbow down to the floor. One, and then the other. The quirky thing about this here, you're gonna come back up to your left hand, okay? And then you're gonna take your right hand and hold on to your left thumb. So basically, your right elbow is where your left hand was, right? Your right hand had to go over to your left thumb and then lean forward and take the head to the floor. That's all we're doing. And now feel your elbow press in the floor, keeping the neck nice and long. Lift the head Take the left forearm back to the floor, right hand forward, right hand to the mat. Bring your left hand to hold your right thumb. I know this is so weird, right? It's a little bit more like funky forearm stand, but it's not. Right? Lean forward so your head can touch the floor. You might even walk your feet forward. So we'll investigate this a little bit more in the Zoom class tomorrow, which is an hour long at 12. Right, you back up, take your head off the floor, right forearm, left hand, right? So you get pretty winded from that one. It's a pretty good core exercise with all the confusing direction, right? Step your feet to the front of the mat, right? Hopping is probably a good option too in case you feel like doing that. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, sit the chair. And then inhale up to standing, right? Left foot, right? So this might kind of wrap up the sides because I have a little bit more for this and a little floor exercise. So this should kind of like really tune us in to our grand finale, right? So left leg stays straight. You're taking it back to your full moon pose, right? Right open arms, open hip, left toes are to the left. Strong glutes, right knee bends so that you can wrap this. Step it back into warrior one. So here's a cute thing we're gonna take from those reaching, twisting arms we started class with. Open your arms wide to a T, okay? I'm gonna face forward so this looks like it makes more sense, right? So it's a right knee bent, that's the front leg, left leg is back, it's the back leg. You're taking your right arm, palm down, reach across over to the left, your left hand can go to your back left leg, your right hand is kind of reaching towards your back left big toe, right? And then you're gonna pick that palm up, around, and to the right, open, turn over your right shoulder, and then you're gonna hook your left elbow outside your right knee. Right arm is up. So you still have your warrior legs, right? Back heel is still down. It's a deep twist into that right thigh. Oh. And then when you unravel this, we come up, right leg straightens, left knee bends. You're in dancing warrior, right? And so exploring, enjoying that little hamstring stretch. Come back up. You're gonna lean into that right leg, pick up the left. Left leg is out in front of you. For a moment here, with the strength of your leg and the strength of your arms, fold into that left leg. Okay? Left knee's gonna bend, so you can even nurture it. Manually do that to bring yourself into chair pose. That's a deep one, right? Hands to touch. Tip forward into the feet. Okay, we're still in the heels. The general idea is ankles, knees, hips. Right, stacking. Our tendency is to really lean back when we're in forward bow, and then when we're standing, we tend to lean way forward, and that's sort of, we get this kind of banana curve, flattens the butt. Actually, it doesn't use any glute muscles. That's probably one of the reasons why PTs are always telling everyone that they need to strengthen their glutes. Whatever. Information. Come to stand. Right foot off the floor, right leg straightens. Okay? Wiggly fingers and toes. Right leg stays straight so you can transition this into your playful, dancing, open, full moon, right? Dancing moon, we'll call it. Right? Left knee bends. Step back to your warrior one. Right, there you are. Arms are open wide. So I'm going to stay on my mat here. I'm not going to turn myself because you know exactly what we're doing. Right here, left palm turns down. You're swimming over your right shoulder. Right hand goes back to right leg. Left arm is reaching from your left glute up the low back, right? Booty to back to shoulder. And that hand is just being like, oh, I'm trying to adjust my toe ring on my back foot. I can't reach it. Oh, well, palm turns up, spin up. Around, go wide open through the heart, go over that left shoulder. Right arm is going to reach, grab, and tuck. Right elbow outside the left knee. Left arm stays open and wide. Huh. Awesome. Okay? So you get a couple breaths out of that because breath is our time here, our timer. And experiencing the space together creatively. Come up through that. Left leg straightens. Sitting into Dancing Warrior, I kind of think that Dancing Warrior into that bent right knee is our version of kind of chilling out today, right? So it's your moment to just kind of observe and appreciate, right? Joints, strength, breath, heat. When you come up out of that right leg, you're gonna shift into the left leg so you get that little spring to lift and to lengthen. Right leg's out in front, hold the leg to hug into it, okay? So you are using your biceps here. You're using sort of your ability to use the economy of leaning into the toes and breathing your yoga stretch over that right leg. You let that knee bend as you come back upright. And sit to chair pose. Right here, we're gonna go a little bit more tiptoes, right? You're gonna open your arms over to your right, plant your right hand. You're gonna adjust the heels. You're gonna lift the hips and reach your left arm over that right shoulder. Right, so it's a little crab reach. Whew. Come back through the middle, just switch hands. Take left hand over to the left. Right arm reach, hips go up, shoulders, so good. Right, that's a really nice reset for those shoulders, strong. Right, when you come back down, hips go to the floor. Booie, right, knees come in towards your chest. Get them very, very close to your shoulders as much as you can. If you could do that without holding them, it just shows that you're kind of really deeply engaging some of those abdominal core muscles. And of course, slow myself down with these words. If you need a little pause, right? If you need to sort of catch yourself, hold your legs, right? Hold your shins or hold your heels. Take this to a low boat. All right, this is interesting. We're actually gonna take the arms over the head, similar to what we were doing. Palms are to the sky, hands are a little wide, and you're actually gonna arch over towards your right. Keep the legs stationary. You're just kind of reaching your right hand way right, tucking right scapula, ribs, shoulder blade down to right crest, hip, oblique. If you look at it, you're like, damn, them good abs, right? Come back to the middle, or however you like to celebrate yourself, right? Stay in that low boat so you're still hovering, and now you're giving a little sort of a crunch, arc, crescent to the left, but not the legs, just the upper body. Back through the middle, OMG, up with a little tuck. So feet are not touching yet. All right, we have one more of those, and I know that was pretty challenging, right? I'm not gonna lie, I definitely felt challenged on that, but just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad, right? I heard that in a podcast today, an interview with a guy that I believe is in Hamilton, just talking about, life struggles, right? Even though it's hard sometimes, and it's definitely a challenge right now being in sort of our quarantine world, right? But it doesn't mean it's bad, it's just a little bit hard, right? All right, enough of me sending out the word, right? Low boat, arms over the head. This is the last time, I promise. Hands are wider than your shoulders, so you're using the space, right? Creatively. Legs, stay forward, heels, not touching the floor, right? Over the right shoulder. Can your right hand go farther down the mat towards your right ankle? Left arm is over the head, keeping your left side straight. Right side is screaming for me to stop talking because this is a lot, right? And help you in the middle. Oh, yay, to the left, right? Left hand, not on the floor, palm up, reach, push towards the toes. Right arm over the head, not on the floor, reaching back away from you. To the middle, to a high bow tuck. This one, do let the feet touch, do let the knees go wide, and you're going for a Baddha Konasana. So there's a little tuck towards the soles of the feet, a chin. So what I was just giving you, just stay in this little tuck, my last little piece of wisdom, the image that I suggested provoked in the beginning of class, right? The idea of like pulling up an item, an object, material, that like really sort of is an example or a token of this gift that is part of you, right? It's your thing that you're presenting to the world. And no worries if you don't know what it is, but you can think of a token, right? A peaceful shape. To me, it's a pyramid, right? Any form of a pyramid or light, but it could be a yoga pose. So you know that when you take that pose and you're doing it, you're conjuring up more information, right? So that creative space that you're bringing to the world, right? And your inhale, woo, more upright, knees come together, and then very slowly you're gonna roll down to your back, right? So this is kind of like our closing series. Let your feet be a little bit wider than the hips, but close enough, right? So heels are close enough that when you press into them, your hips can come up. And so we're getting a little sort of a glute bridge, right? We'll call it. It's enough of this little Dhanurasana shape that is enough to sort of really bring the impact into our glutes. So, like I mentioned earlier, right? There's often sort of a lot of confusion about posture and being sort of what kind of exercises to do to be sort of right in our everyday life when we're not necessarily on our mats. And it really does come into glute strength, but don't overdo it like me where you make yourself a cranky person and no fun to be around. I'm tired, right? So you get just the right amount, right? Lower the hips down. When the hips drop, take your knees over to the right, open your arms wide. Right, so I want to show that I can actually teach something that is still calming, right? So we kind of leave the mat after this practice feeling awake and alert, but still peaceful, right? Not aggressive. Not bad. We're listening to Sade Radio, just in case you're wondering if you can hear it. If you can't hear it, leave me a message and maybe I can turn it up, but you can always listen to your own music low so that you can still hear the beauty of my voice. Knees turn to the left now if you haven't switched. The real utility in this one is not how much you're working, it's actually how much you're letting go, right? So right here, the letting go is really just enjoying the space that's available, right? So it's the space that goes from the palm of the right hand across the chest, down to the right knee, possibly to the floor, and then back to the middle. We have one more little bridge lift, right? You're gonna lift the hips up. And because it's a flow day, you can choose, right? You want a supported bridge, you can have your arms underneath, fingers interlaced, right? And in so many ways too, remembering the glutes are gonna keep your pelvis so set as per the femur bones, as per your lumbar spine, that we're not worried and concerned about sort of over back bending because we're gonna work the shoulders, right? Hands can plant over your shoulders, fingers spread wide, right? Happily, we've been working all this tissue and space, and maybe your full wheel here has kind of like a freedom, an offering, recognition, a gift that you can see here, right? So I'm going to tippy toes, and it's just fun because I haven't done it in a while today. Yay. You come down as careful as you did go up, tuck your chin, lower down to your shoulders. The finishing poses, feet as wide as the mat, knees fall into each other, arms are over the head. Right, you're gonna do a couple turns, the face right and left. Just looking, rolling over the back of the skull, possibly pausing. Right, if your traps are tightly wound with tension from work, from this week, from all the letting go of the whatever of the week. Big cleansing breaths back through the middle, feet together. And you come to sit on your seat, right? So you roll, you turn, you find your way back to an upright seat. You get a moment here to be in clarity, to enjoy the clarity, right? It is there. Sometimes it's not as much there. We're not paying attention to it, but when we are, right? So where's my clarity? Oh, there it is. Right? It's been there. It sits on your shoulders. It resides in your heart. We have to ask for it, right? I ask for clarity. I ask for peace.
I ask to use my gift, right, to its fullest capacity, to its potential. I don't worry about the potential and living up to it. It's much wiser to just enjoy the potential. It'll arrive and it will get into its potency by the time you're finished. Right, hands come to your heart. Gently to all this good work that you're doing. Namaste. Namaste. Thanks for coming. Tomorrow is Saturday in my world, in IRL, and I'll be on Zoom. The link is in my Instagram bio. You can find me, Mikeeyoga.net, and I'm around. So leave me a message. Peace. Happy holidays. Thanks for coming. Stay cute. Talk soon.